Coach Mazey, you mentioned at the end of the week, this past weekend, how important this game was. It looked like your team could not have come out any more focused.
Yeah, it's sure did look that way right from the very first pitch. You get a double in the first pitch of the game, it kind of sets the tone for what the rest of the night was going to be. And one thing about our team, I don't think we've ever played a game in which we weren't ready for. And the sweep that we had in Lubbock last week, I think really helped us because it was a wake-up call for our guys. And look back at any good team that has gotten swept at any point during the season, they usually get pretty hot after that happens. And I think that's what happened to us. Ever since we got swept, we've played really good baseball.
Grant, how much were you monitoring the home run record, and then can you take us through the emotions of tonight and how cool that was?
I looked at it at the start of the season, and it was always a goal of mine. I remember looking at it like sophomore year and just seeing if I could, and I seen if I was close. Went through a little spell of no home runs here about the past month or so. But I felt like a little kid out there today. That was probably the most emotion I've ever had running around the bases, because I'm not too much of an emotional person. But yeah.
The first one, it looked like you were, I don't want to say surprised, but anxious on whether or not it was going to go out, really watching it and tracking it. Was that the case?
Not really.
Okay.
I knew I hit it hard. I've been hitting a lot of balls hard lately that haven't been going out, so I wasn't sure. But I hit it to the right part of the park where it juts in right there.
Coach, what does this mean for someone like Grant, who's an in-state kid? You've always talked about how it's cool when you guys play in big games and you have in-state kids do cool things, but what about for an in-state kid to set the home run record here at WVU?
Yeah, look how many players have played at West Virginia in the last 100 years that were really, really good players that don't have that record. And here comes Grant from our state, and our crowd, it seems like, gravitates toward West Virginia kids because we don't get that many. I think we only have 4 or 5 on this team, so when an in-state kid does something like that, it just makes the whole state proud of him and proud of the program. We're all proud of him, and I'm actually glad it's behind him now, so he can just worry about smashing baseballs and not think about it anymore. Usually when that happens, it takes kind of a burden off your shoulders and frees you up a little bit. I think the last at-bat might have been your best at-bat of the season after he had already gotten the record, and it's just a huge relief that's behind him, and now he can just focus on and having quality at-bats.
Grant, is there an extra factor for you that it happened here, just because it's the MLB ballpark? I know it would have been cool, obviously, to do it at home, being a West Virginia kid, but extra boost to be able to do it here and remember that for years to come?
It's definitely cool. Getting a home run in a big league ballpark is pretty awesome. It would have been cool that Phil was at Le Mans, but there was a buttload of people here tonight that I got to see it. So.
Did you get any of the balls?
Not yet.
No, okay.
JJ, could you talk about the fan support here tonight and how cool it is that fans drive an hour and a half up north at least to come watch you guys play?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Obviously, we play really good, especially when we get good crowds. And fan support is everything to us. And we've been getting really good crowds at home. But to have it, like you said, over an hour away is huge, and just makes the game way more fun for us. It's hard to create a good atmosphere in a big league park because there's so many stands, such a big stadium. But we did a pretty great job today, and I think the fans are really into it. It just motivates us to play. I'm just super thankful for it.
JJ, I'm guessing you had probably a lot of family, friends in the crowd today, or?
My mom and my dad. My brother was here too, actually. I didn't know he was coming. I got a pretty small family, so that's about it. I think I told Coach Mays, he was talking about the rain might keep some fans away. I said, well, the Wetherholts will be in town. He said, what, all 10 of them? I said, well, I only know about 10. No, but yeah, I'm super thankful that they were able to come. And there's a couple friends too. I know one of my hitting coaches was here, and then one of my good buddies, his parents came to support. So it's always good playing here.
Did your family grow up Pitt fans, or did you guys grow up as a Pitt family growing up? Or?
No, my dad is from Ashtabula, Ohio, which is near Cleveland, so he was a Cleveland guy.
Okay.
And then my mom's from Somerset, PA. She's kind of Pittsburgh, but it's a little out there in the country, so she didn't really associate with sports that much.
Was there any extra incentive or even emotions for you now playing in this game? Because you didn't get to do it last year and you didn't play here before, but just you had to wait a whole another year to
Yeah.
get here. You dealt with injuries all season. You're from the area.
Yeah, no, it's super exciting. Obviously, going to games here, growing up and getting to see people play, and one of my favorite players growing up as a kid was Kutch, and being in the same batter's box as him, and then even seeing he's got a bat rack area because he's back here is super cool. So it's definitely super exciting. Yeah, today was one of those games where it's just you get super excited playing. Baseball can be a super long season, and you can kind of show up repetitive and maybe not super excited to play. But today's one of those games where it's like from the get-go, you just want to play really bad.
Could you see yourself, I know there's obviously still much of the season left to go, but could you see yourself maybe playing in this stadium? Did that enter the mindset at all as you were out there today at all? Or?
I could see myself playing here with the WV across my chest.
Yeah.
I've done that twice. That was pretty cool. You never know. It'd be cool.
Coach, what's it mean to you to not be at the home stadium but still have a couple thousand fans chanting your name as you're walking off?
Yeah, it's never been about me, never will be about me. It's listening to them try and figure out how to all sing country roads together was more fun than hearing them chant my name. But yeah, the crowd support we've gotten the last 3 or 4 years has been phenomenal. We set a record this past weekend for attendance in a series, and it's all because of these guys who put good players on the field who are fun to watch, and these guys do great in the community, and the fans get to know them. They're so much fun to cheer for, and we play a pretty exciting brand of baseball. So what a great time to be a Mountaineer baseball fan. This is as good as Mountaineer baseball's been in a long time. So it's fun to watch people follow along and like you said, drive up to Pittsburgh and support us. I think this is the best crowd we've had here. One year we played here, happened to fall on Game 7 of the Penguins and the Capitals in round 1 of the playoffs, and there was almost no one here. So to see how far our program has come, most of our home games are sold out now, and this is the biggest crowd we've had here at PNC. It's a great time to be a Mountaineer fan.
JJ, obviously you and Grant came to the program same year, same time. Do you have a special Grant Hussey memory or a favorite home run of his, and what's it been like to be teammates together through these 3 years?
Yeah, my special Grant Hussey memory was freshman summer. I went to a recruiting camp at West Virginia University, and there was just so happened that the only commit in our class was on my team of like 10 teams, and it happened to be Grant Hussey. So I got to know Grant before we were even on campus.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got to play the whole weekend together. It was super cool. And then I committed after. But obviously, like this moment too is super cool. But it's been great. I've had a friendship with him before we even got to campus, and then since we've been to campus, we've just been nothing but buddies. So it's super great to see that.
JJ, you mentioned the McCutcheon bat rack. Where you're not DHing anymore, did you go out to shortstop and think of, wow, all the many people that have been in this spot, or did you kind of just tunnel vision on the game ahead?
Yeah, I actually didn't really think about it that much. But Coach Mazey gave us a speech, kind of like all the greats that have played here. You get to play in that same position. It's super cool. So yeah, there's been a lot of greats come through here, and it's definitely exciting. But the Kutch bat rack definitely caught me the most surprised. It's cool.
Grant, for you, on the same kind of thing though, breaking the record at a big league ballpark, that's got to be more meaningful than just breaking the record, right?
I mean, it's cool. It's definitely something I remember.
Are you glad it's over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a pretty good job not thinking about it,
Yeah.
honestly. I wasn't really stressing over it or anything. But yeah, just keep adding on to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Grant, I think it was a couple weeks ago, you said to Justin that hitting home runs at home was much harder than the road venues. What made that harder, And then when you get out on the road, I mean, it doesn't seem like pressure bothers you. Is it just ballpark configuration, way it sets up for
I
you?
told him we call the lawn a graveyard. There's not really a lot of home runs hit there unless you're Kyle West. But yeah, I mean it's hard to be a left-handed hitter. The wind's always not in your favor, so I mean it is what it is.
Definitely no wind helping you today on either one, though. That was all your bat, right?
I guess.
Coach, obviously the success you guys have had in this park, 6-0 now, I think. You've been able to go, I mean, obviously JJ, but there's other Western PA kids on this team. I'm sure there's probably some that you're looking at right now. Having the success in this park, how much does that kind of play into that and into recruiting the Western PA guys?
Yeah, no doubt. We've always felt like Western Pennsylvania is a great recruiting area for talent. It has been since I was a kid. I say that because I'm from Western Pennsylvania. But no, Western Pennsylvania matches up with our program pretty well because it's blue-collar town and we're a blue-collar program. And I think kids gravitate toward that. If you come and watch us play ever, it appears that we play with a little bit of an edge all the time. And I think that's what the blue-collar kids of Western Pennsylvania look for. And we feel like we're going to outwork people and out-hustle people, and that's just what our program's all about. So it's close to home for these guys. You can play in the Big 12, one of the best conferences in the country, and stay relatively close to home. So that's a match made in heaven for those kids.
Coach, did you get a gift from the Panthers ahead of the game?
I did. Mike Bell has been a great friend of mine for 20-some years. He'll always be a great friend of mine. He gave me a picture from our game last year at PNC when we played together. The people of West Virginia get mad at me every time I say it, but when we don't play Pitt, I actually root for Mike Bell and the Panthers. And when they're good and we're good, it makes for really good games. So I want them to be good. And you guys can bleep that out if you're sending that to people in West Virginia. But like I said, he's a friend of mine. I'm rooting for him. I love the coaches on his staff, always have, and we'll continue to be friends, and I'll continue to root for him.
On that point, what has this rivalry meant to you?
You know, it means a lot to me because it means a lot to the fans. And like I said, we don't get a lot of West Virginia kids in our program, so when we played them at home a couple weeks ago, our kids that are in the program for the first year had no idea what this rivalry was about. But when we set the attendance record at Kendrick Ballpark, after the game, the kids, the first year in the program, were like, man, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. So it takes people a little while to understand what it's about, but once you see a game or two between these two teams in any sport, it's not hard to jump on board and realize that the rivalry means a lot to a lot of people.
Good. Thank you.